What up, family? It's me, Rondo, aka Parnell Shuttlesworth, aka your mom's homie, aka Young Ash Ketchum. I gotta catch 'em all. K.A. Mr. Big Stuff. And my pronouns is Black Matrix. And I would like to welcome y'all to the Treehouse out of Chicago. 77 Tree, the podcast, in conjunction with the Bel Air Boys. Here is where we discuss wrestling and all things associated with it. Whether it's your first time checking us out or you've been here before, do me a favor. Make sure you're liking, make sure you're subscribed, make sure you're following. 77 Tree is available wherever you pick up your podcast. All of those likes, all of those comments, all of those reviews, it does wonders for us on this end. Gives us the analytics that we need so that we know what type of what type of content to continue to put out for you all. So I thank you in advance. First and foremost, before we get started, I want to give a special acknowledgement to Austin Creed, aka Xavier Woods, and Kofi Kingston, aka Kofi Kingston, formerly known as the New Day. As you see, I got the shirt over to the side. I just wanted to acknowledge those two, the duo, as well as the trio, which is the New Day, Big E included. These guys help revolutionize wrestling. They brought back a sense of fun, a sense of comedy, like the trios. Like, they brought the free bird rule back into effect. Don't even get me started on what they did for the culture and the community. They were in tune with who they are, and it sucks that TKO disrespected Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston in the fashion that they did. There's no words for that. But what I did want to do was give my thanks and give them their flowers and acknowledge the fact that those gentlemen put in 18 and I want to say 16 years with that company. This won't go unheard about. This won't go unseen. This would definitely start a ripple effect with how UE and TKO conducts business with their talent. But I won't prolong it any further. I just wanted to say Godspeed. I hope wherever y'all end up going or whatever your next moves are, I pray that y'all get y'all respect and every bit of your worth. That sucks. Yeah. If you didn't know, they wanted those gentlemen as well as other wrestlers to restructure their contracts. Most of these contracts by 7 figures. There's reports out claiming that apparently WWE or TKO wanted to do away with Kofi Kingston completely, and they were only interested in keeping Woods on a Tyler Breeze deal. Basically, they have him doing internet content and stuff for the video games. They wanted those gentlemen to take 50% pay cuts. If I'm not mistaken, I heard it was in the 7 figures or close to. Most likely in the 7 figures, because those gentlemen were top earners at one point. But the way they slighted them, and I guess what really ties into it is the fact that they bragged about the record-breaking gate they had at WrestleMania. I guess it also ties into the fact that the higher-ups, what's the other dude name? Shapiro, Erwani, these jokers got 200, 250, 104% pay raises. We talking about from 6 million to 18 million, from like 24 million to like 80. Like, the numbers is crazy. And reports also stating that they were told, they being WWE, to cut millions from the payroll, which ties into all of the cuts. I mean, we know they do that every year. We've also known that they do it every year during WrestleMania season to balance out the averages, to inflate numbers for the most part. This is just low. On top of the fact that they said the pay cuts have to come from actual wrestlers, people who are involved. So it's like the suits, the board members, the people who getting the money, their money can't be touched. Weakest shit I ever came across. This is just too much. Anyway, we just got through with WrestleMania like 3 weeks ago. Backlash is this weekend. We will be reviewing the May 4th episode of Monday Night Raw, May 4th, 2026. Monday Night Raw on Netflix, as well as doing a Backlash predictions. So let's get locked in. We're about to run through this one. The new format. We locking in. We're going to jump right into the episode. Raw starts off hot. Roman pulls up. He hops out the whip. Adam Pearce runs up on him, and he's trying to get his attention. Roman on DM time. Demon time, I meant. He looking for Jacob. He walking to the ring. Pierce cuts him off like, look, Jacob ain't here yet, man. Cut two. In the cut like a bandage. Seth Rollins. Good camera work. He looked. Roman staring back. You know the history these two got. Seth hit his ass with a, you're in my way. I'm like, perfect. That was good work. Hit Seth music. Seth make his way to the ring. On the way to the ring, before he can even get to the ring, Braun Breaker come at him. But I guarantee he got notes not to come 100 miles an hour, because compared to how Braun usually pull up on people when he about to sneak attack them or take them out, talking about my boy be full speed kicking up dust. This in comparison was him skipping to the ring. It was, but I get it. He's injuring wrestlers. He injured Seth with the last spear like that. But don't fret. This is an attack angle. So Braun just really giving them the business. Seth tried to get some work in. They separate the two. But you know it ain't over. Soon as they be in security, pushing Braun away. He's, making his way up the ramp. Pierce turns his back. Braun shoot right back into the ring, hit Seth with a spear, try to chop the boy in half. So this is also a match that's on the Backlash card. We're going to be reviewing it after the fact. Braun versus Seth, one-on-one, a match we were supposed to have at WrestleMania. Obviously, it did not happen because both were injured, and it threw a wrench into the plans. Most plans were wrapped around Seth Rollins and his faction, Division. When he became injured, they blew things up. After the Seth and Braun angle, we get the Judgment Day backstage. Liv, Roxanne, Raquel, JD, and Dom. Liv asks Shorty, like, well, I gotta watch Netflix to see that you over here talking to Finn in the den. She like, Roxanne like, I don't know what's wrong with Finn. He's delusional. I don't know why he pulled up in here. Again, they're pushing the whole angle where it seems like Roxanne might be leaning to turning babyface. Liv is pressuring her for trust. She wants to know if she can trust her. She wants her to and all of this and that. Liv is a master manipulator. She's playing the mind games the same way she did with Finn. And this is interesting because Finn did bring Roxanne in to create strife between Liv and Dom. And that seemed to completely backfire. So we here now. Not to mention Raquel still should have some feelings about Liv throwing her out of the Rumble. I'm fingers crossed they dive back into that for SummerSlam. That's where I'm hoping they go with that. Finn and JD have a match. It's obviously the first match of the night, but we also know it's going to be Judgment Day interference. And at this current juncture, Finn doesn't have anyone to watch his back. This is a pretty standard match between the two. Starts off really hot, good action. Pause. But we also know that Finn is a workhorse and JD is a hell of a wrestler as well as a good seller. These two mirror each other. JD came up under Finn's tutelage, not just in the Judgment Day faction, but in actual wrestling circles. So this was a masterclass of smaller wrestlers, and you expect Finn to put Dom over. Good spots in it. The chemistry was strong between the two. Cue the interference by the Judgment Day. We get them making their way down to the ring. Not to mention, Dom was ringside with JD, interfering the entire match. Tripping Finn up, grabbing Finn, acting like he wasn't doing nothing. I think on the third or fourth go round, after the ladies came down, after Roxanne made her way down. So it seemed like, Liv keeping tabs, keeping an eye out. Liv gets some interference. She distracts the ref, tosses the hammer that Dom usually has, the ring bell hammer, toss that to Roxanne. Roxanne goes and uses it on Finn. So they're leaning into the story. Like, I was not expecting that part. I was more so expecting a hesitant move or even she goes to hit him and misses and hits JD, something along those lines. to see that they're following through and standing on this, it gives it a little more merit. Makes it when the turn happens, it'll mean so much more. I can see it being a situation where they're jumping Finn and they're Liv wanting Roxanne to do something or go get something, and she refuses, and that pretty much starts it. I'm not mad if that's the angle they go with. JD headbutts Finn. 1, 2, 3 picks up the win. Judgment Day stands tall afterwards. Again, this feud should have been done after the Demon beat Dominic. I don't know why they're prolonging this and going deeper into this story, but I'm also picturing maybe an intergender situation where they do Roxanne and Finn versus Liv and Dom. They like to do those type of matches around fall. So, maybe they lean into that after SummerSlam, or it might be a SummerSlam match whole time. Backlash is this weekend, and then SummerSlam is the first week of August, if I'm not mistaken. After that match, Seth and Jackie Redmond backstage. Jackie asks Seth about what happened, and long story short, Seth is like, Braun didn't finish the job. So it ain't over between them. We get Byron Saxton talking to the Los Americanos. Fantastic heel work with the promos during the breaks. They know how to work the crowd. They're building up their mask versus mask match between El Grande OG and the real Grande Americano. We get a recap of Roman versus Jacob promo from the previous Monday. Then we get a backstage Vision promo between Theory and Braun and Logan. Heyman walks in. He like, yo, is Seth still breathing? Y'all back here chuckling and shit. He like, yeah, he being Braun. But Logan Paul wants to get at Joe Hendry because Joe Hendry wrote that stupid song about fire Logan Paul, which in my opinion is extremely out of place. I know he does concerts and he likes to crack jokes and shit like that, but after firing all of these wrestlers, after not re-signing and letting contracts run out or whatever you want to call it, for y'all to literally 3 days later put a segment on where Joe Henry's singing a song about firing a wrestler, and then that wrestler comes out saying he's unfireable. I believe the word is tone deaf. Extremely disrespectful in my opinion. But Heyman look, Logan, don't trip. You ain't gonna have time to get at Joe Hendry because Austin Theory fighting him tonight. After that, we get Penta and Javon Evans. They're going up against Rusev and Ethan Page. Fantastic babyface versus heel dynamic. I was calling for Ethan Page to pick up the win because he's just that type of wrestler. He gets in the ring. He's very, very charismatic. Great ring work. I believe he's in his mid-30s, like 34, 35, 36, somewhere in there. So he's not a young pup. But we also know wrestlers are wrestling for a lot longer now into their tenure. He's been around for a minute. But him with Rusev, I knew would work well because of the dynamic of Page. Page fits perfectly because you just let Rusev run wild like a monster. Let him play the monster role and let Ethan do all the strategery. Javon Evans, Penta get their flying spots in. Penta hit a Penta driving on Ego. I thought that was, Penta hits his moves. I'm looking for the Mexican Destroyer as well. Although I had Ego picking up the win. Rusev, he gets in. He takes control after the break. Javon Evans, he gets the hot tag. He gets his spots in. But it's over pretty quickly after Ego gets an apron spot on Penta. I'm trying to remember what it was. I think it was a suplex or something. Lord forgive me. It was he hit a spot on Penta on the apron and then got Penta in the ring and he had a suplex on him, a back suplex. I'm not sure what that finisher is called, but that's the dynamic move set of Ethan Page. He has so many moves that he can finish you off with. This one, I don't even know what it's called yet, but 1, 2, 3 picks up the win on Penta. Him and Rusev, again, great work. If this is a match, I would suggest you go check it out. It was a really good, entertaining babyface versus heel tag team match. We're going to take a break real quick, though. I know I was running long. When we come back, we're going to talk with Adam Pearce. Talk with him. We're going to have Adam Pearce in the ring and see what he's actually finna talk about. We're going to finish up the episode. Then I'm going to drop my predictions for Backlash. Hang tight, y'all. We'll be back in a second. And we're back. Thanks for staying tuned in. Let's finish up strong. After we get back, Adam Pearce is in the ring to introduce Ruka as the next new signee to Raw. She's interrupted by Becky Lynch. They have a back and forth. So this will be the first rivalry for Ruka on the main roster. Pardon me. Not a bad way to start off your career on Raw, I should say. For Ruka, her and Becky, verbal barb. Ruka hits the Soul Snatcher. Everyone's very high up on that move. WWE did remove the botch from the earlier edit. It was a talking point for whatever reason on the socials. After that, we get a recap of Jacob running roughshod over the MFTs and the Usos standing at the top of the ramp watching it take place from SmackDown last week. I believe it's Jackie. She runs up on the Usos, asks them if Roman has any decisions made for the Jacob match. They're like, look, OTC, gonna say what he gonna say when he ready to say it. There's been conflicting reports about this Jacob Fatu versus Roman Reigns match. I heard that Roman's June dates have been wiped off, indicating that he probably won't be on the shows, or at least on Raw. I heard that he wasn't going to go to the Saudi show, Night of Champions or whatever it was, but then I heard that he will be going to that show, and he has been being advertised for it. On top of the fact that with the champion not being on TV for an entire month, seems a little, so it kind of had people believing maybe Fatu was going to win the title. But at this time, I really can't call it. I don't have a dog in this fight. This will probably be it seems like it should be an easy win, but there's so many things that could take place that I think will take place. Also, the main thing being, will the Usos turn heel? We've seen the Usos with Roman Reigns, but in this iteration, Roman wants them to be side by side and not his followers. I was thinking that if they were to turn on the OTC, because they're doing a lot of standing on the OTC, big up and on respect and all of that, as you should. But if y'all supposed to be shoulder to shoulder, why they still kind of moving like foot soldiers? So I don't know. I'm thinking they turn heel on Roman, help Jacob win, and then everybody really be side by side on that side. Roman go try to recruit Solo again. I don't know. Could be cooking. Next, we get the Joe Hendry concert. He gets the crowd to sing along with him to the Fire Logan Paul song. So they did this 2 weeks in a row. Not a fan. Logan comes out irate. Same spots. Can't fire me. I'm on fire elbow. Henry has a match against Theory. This was pretty much a showing for Joe Hendry. He got his spots in. He was going for his finisher. Logan interferes. DQ win for Joe Hendry. They attack him. They being Logan and Theory. Street Profits come out for the save. This is a rivalry that's been brewing for a while. Street Profits versus Division. I was thinking that maybe this would be something we get for SummerSlam. They've been building to it. Street Profits have had some untelevised matches, or dark matches, if you will. But then Braun Breaker comes out, and he attacks the Street Profits, splits Dawkins in half, and then Seth comes out, and he attacks Braun. He gets his get back. He gets his retaliation. After that, we got Oberfemi making his way down. He gets his entrance. Big pop. Everybody love Oberfemi right now. The next big thing, he a baby face. He can cut promos, and he's a monster in the ring. His first acceptor of the Oberfemi challenge is Tozawa. Tozawa come down to the ring. He pumped, he ready. He gets in the ring. He looks at Oba. He tag out. So it's Otis and Oba, one-on-one. Big, meaty men slapping meat. You already know. This match went about 3 minutes. They did a couple of stalemate spots, but then Oba grabbed Otis, just chucked him across the ring. On top of, he was trying to figure out how he was going to get him up for the fall from grace. He sat him on the top rope and picked him up and then walked him to the middle of the ring and slammed him down for the 3. Oberfemi is up. He's next. He's now. They're going to keep him built like dominant, and he'll win King of the Ring. He'll be the next wrestler to get a superstar contract. They're not going to be doing a bunch of those. I think Becky, Seth, Punk, Roman, Cody, that's 5. I mean, I know off the top of my head. Heyman, probably say Liv is teetering around. Oh, Mommy, Charlotte might be restructuring. We'll see. But Oba definitely is up next. After that, we come back from break. Asuka and Io do a video pre-tape promo. Adam Pearce sets that up. Asuka like, look, you changed and you've been extremely disrespectful to your sensei. Io like, I still love you, but you've changed and you turned into an animal. And this weekend, she is ready for Asuka. Asuka spits in Io's face. Pierce separate them, break that up. This is a match we also have in on Backlash. Again, a match that should have took place at WrestleMania. We get Jackie Redmond talking to El Grande and the Americanos Hermanos, but it's the Creed brothers. They got a match against the Los Americanos. This was a gimmick that has turned into a cash cow, and it just so happened to benefit them drastically over in AAA. Over here in the States, not so much. We take it for what it is. It's a comedy spot, comedic wrestling. It's funny, the gimmick, we get it, we know. Over in AAA, it hit different. They love the real Grande. They are not messing with the original. He's a heel over there. They boo him. They like when the real El Grande picks up victory. Like this mask versus mask match that they're going to have, and it's going to be at a AAA pay-per-view. The real Grande will win that match, and Chad Gable's going to have to take off his mask. Again, good match. Got to see the Creed brothers in action. They've been building for the El Grande versus the real Grande match, so it's good to see them tied up, as well as Bravo and Rayo. But we've seen this match a few times. The OGs actually pick up the victory, which was the right move. Again, all of this tying into the OG Grande versus the real Grande for the mask versus mask match. Finally, we're at the Roman and Jacob signing. Table set up in the ring. OTC comes out, makes his way, gets to the table. Jacob comes out, makes his way, gets to the table. Roman does his shtick. You know, he hit Jacob with, you know how this go. Insert city here. Acknowledge me. And they basically rehashed the promos from last week. Jacob like, look, I need what you got. I used to cry and pray for days like these. Like we here now. And Roman, in classic OTC fashion, begins to go on about how hard he's had to work and the path that he's laid and the people that he's helped along the way. He like, Solo brought you in, I brought Solo in. So I brought you in. Just the way he was dressing him down. Except for Jacob ain't going for that all crazy. He said something to Jacob, and I wish I would remember what it was, but it triggered him. Put it in the comments, y'all. What did Roman say that triggered Jacob the second time? Because he got right to him with the Tongan death grip. Tongan death grip on Roman, put him down, took him down, and this is turning out to be a match, if not the match of the night, because it could legitimately go either way. You got the Usos entangled in there. You know there's going to be some tomfoolery. But I don't think they help Roman. I think they help Jacob. Whether it's on purpose or not, I think that's how it plays out. I could be completely wrong, but yeah, we get Jacob putting Roman through the table. This was, you know, the Samoan werewolf doing his thing. They're building him up strong, but we just watched him take out the MFTs. He should be able to run shot through Roman. It shouldn't be work at all. But that's how we end up with Raw. Seeing as it's the Raw before Backlash, as well as the build that they've been, like, they came right out of WrestleMania directly into, like, this is WrestleMania 2.0. These are remainder matches. This is leftovers. These are the matches that couldn't happen because people were injured. But it's turning out to be a hell of a spectacle. So we're also going to be watching Saturday. So it's going to be an event, if you will. We're going to be doing the Discord as well, so I'll make sure to have y'all locked in for that. I'll drop the info in the chat, or I'll put it in the description. That's what I got to start doing. Dropping the Discord in the description. All right, y'all. We'll be back in a second. When we come back, I'm gonna give y'all my Backlash predictions. Hang tight. We almost out of here, people. And we're back. All right, y'all. So, Backlash is this Saturday. Me and the squad Defense and Handyman Expo. We will be in the Discord watching the PLE. I will put the Discord in the description this week and moving forward. I would also make a note and I will drop invitations in the Discord for my friends that I have connected. I'll throw it in the snap. I'll throw it on TikTok. We're gonna have a nice little go round for Backlash, as well as me and the guys will be finishing up WrestleMania Night 2. Me and Defense recorded the Night 1, and we're lining up schedules so we're able to have Handyman in there when we review Night 2, which was the better of the evenings. But without any further ado, let me give y'all my predictions for WWE Backlash. The first hour is free, and they're going to give us Seth versus Braun. I could imagine that this match goes maybe 20 minutes. So you're talking about 40 minutes of interviews, ads, commercials. They're wilding. Like WrestleMania, they gave us 2 matches. And y'all saw how many commercials was in that shit. We get another free hour, but it's only 1 match. What do you think it's going to look? It's going to be ridiculous. I'm sure there'll be some shenanigans, but they're going to milk that hour. They give you just enough to try to hook you. There'll be some type of shenanigan in there. I've heard rumblings about Bronson Reed might be making his return, but I have Seth picking up the win. Braun doesn't need the victory. Seth lost at WrestleMania. I think if he loses here, his momentum is kind of shot, especially with the position he just played with Roman at the start of Raw. So yeah, I got Seth winning, but he could be getting demolished after the fact if Bronson Reed is making his return. After that, we got Trick Williams, aka Trick Willie, the US champion, facing Sami Zayn for the title. I think Trick retains. He's hot. He's on fire right now. I think the Ginger Man, my apologies. I believe the Gingerbread Man is resurrected and he makes an appearance, and it might be Yachty inside that joint. I don't know. I think it's Yachty inside that joint this time. But Trick Williams will retain and pick up the victory. After that, we have Eoskai facing Asuka in a singles match. Now, in the perfect world, Kairi Sane would be ringside with Asuka. Asuka would be forcing Kairi to cheat. Towards the end of the match, she would want Kairi to pull some type of bullshit move. Kairi would yell, Asuka! And the crowd will break and pop, and Kairi will finally stand up for herself. And that distraction will help EO pick up the victory, long story short. In the perfect world, we have this match between EO and Asuka. It's a good bout. It's a fantastic back and forth. Asuka, with her veteran knowledge, picks up the upper hand towards the end. But then we get a run in. It's a figure, all black, hoodie, gets in the ring, attacks Asuka, gets out the ring, turns back, looks at the ring. We know who it is now, so the pop is here. Take the hood off. Kairi Sane. Whether it's a one night only situation or she's back under the R-Truth fact. But that's not what we have. It looks like we have a straight up Asuka versus EO. I'm not mad at that. I think, again, it's a fantastic wrestling match between the two. I think they work well together. I think EO picks up the win. Asuka doesn't need it. On top of they've been attacking EO, I think EO gets a get back at Backlash. Next, we have Danhausen with TBA, or should I say TBD, to be determined, to be announced, whatever, versus The Miz and Kit Wilson. Now, I heard that Danhausen's tag partner is supposed to love money. I don't think it's Ted DiBiase. I've heard Shane McMahon. I don't know if Shane is in that type of favor with WWE currently. I mean, my boy buying tickets and he's sitting in the audience like a regular Joe. He ain't even backstage. Your brother-in-law and your sister work here. So I don't think it's him. Most likely, it's CM Punk. Punk dropped that reference in his promo when he first came back. I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to make money. On top of all the skits him and Danhausen used to do where he would buy stuff for Danhausen or from Danhausen, whatever. But whoever it is, I believe Danhausen and CM Punk picks up the victory. You get Punk on the show, you get a big pop. He's not doing anything right now. He's been out, probably was able to get 2-3 weeks off, or 2 weeks off, because I think he came back the Monday after Raw just to say his piece. I might have that wrong altogether. I don't know. I forget sometime. A lot happens, man. I work a job and I have a real life on top of trying to do this. So sometimes things get mixed up. You know what I'm saying? It happens. But we here. And finally, we have Jacob Fatu taking on Roman Reigns for the WWE Heavyweight Championship. This was the match that I was most interested and am most interested in watching. My apologies. Due to conflicting stories, this can go either way. Roman could retain and make Jacob look strong. He can have help from the bloodline. The bloodline can help Jacob, and Jacob can win and start a new regime, especially if Roman's supposed to be off TV after May is over with. But if he's advertised for the Night of Champions show, you would imagine him either retaining or going to challenge right away for a belt. Originally, I had Roman winning. Then I heard stories. Now I'm not too sure. I'm going to run with my original. I think Roman retains. If Roman doesn't retain, the Usos turn heel on Roman and side with Jacob Fatu. It's one or the other. Those are my picks, and I'm sticking to it. I'm going to have to drop it in the poll. Pause. Who do you think going to win between Jacob Fatu and Roman? OTC versus the Samoan Werewolf. Let me know who you picking. I think for the short amount of time, luckily they had matches on reserve that couldn't go off for WrestleMania that they were able to use for this PLE. They got lucky. But WWE they're in a lot of trouble, man. The shit doesn't hit the fan for them. I don't know how they fix this. I don't know if they even want to. But now wrestlers are going to be looking sideways at WWE higher-ups because the math ain't math. Yeah, y'all my predictions for Backlash. I hope y'all tune in with us. If you don't tune in with us, at least watch it anyway, because we're going to watch and we're going to review and we're going to try to get an episode out for y'all. I'm going to try to have it out for y'all Sunday evening. Fingers crossed if I get everything lined up and everything done. I'm going to take good notes, and we should be able to run it back Sunday after church if everybody is all systems go. So we'll see how that play out, y'all, but I love it. We got an episode done. We got predictions done. We got WrestleMania Night 2 on the way, and then we got Backlash to review and put up. So, yeah, it's going to be a busy weekend, but I do it because I love it. It's my hobby, and it's fun. I do it for y'all also. And I got the team lined up. Like, everybody's starting to get a little rhythm. We getting schedules locked up. Like, hey, 26 might be happening. This might be it. You feel me? And shout out to everybody who taps in when I just throw it on Snap or I put it on TikTok. But you pull up to the job and or in the Discord. Shout out to you for being a real one, for checking us out. If you like any of the content that you heard, be sure to share it. Be sure to rate it. Be sure to comment, like, review, whatever platform you're checking us out on. Make sure y'all tap in with your boy and the team, because all of that matters to us. We respond to all content, good or bad. If there's some stuff that needs to be critiqued, if you got some ideas, holla at your boy. I ain't too proud to beg. You know what I'm saying? Help me out. Help me. You help me. If that's what it needs to be, let me know. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna get ready to get up out of here, y'all. Y'all know what time it is. It's still kind of early. Well, earlier than it usually is when I'm done doing this shit. Ooh. It's been real, y'all. You know me, Hondo, a.k.a. Parnell Shuttlesworth, b.k.a. your mom's homie, a.k.a. Young Ash Ketchum. I gotta catch him all. F.k.a. Mr. Big Stuff. And my pronouns is Black Matrix. Y'all be nice to each other. Check on your mental. Be safe out here. I'll holler at y'all in a little bit. Love.